Yo, what's everyone saying? Welcome back to another video. Obviously the Premier League is finally back this weekend, so I thought I'd give you guys my predictions for what's going to happen by the end of the season. I'll start from the relegation zone and then we'll just quickly breeze through the mid-table teams and we'll get to them juicier ones like who's going to finish top 6 and obviously which order they're going to be. Golden Boot, Player of the Year, all them individual awards as well. So yeah, without further ado, let's just get straight into it. In last place, I think everyone's picked this is going to be Cardiff. They haven't signed anyone of note, they've not sold anyone of note, it's just a deeply average team, no source whatsoever. I don't see them getting more than 30 points, to be honest. In 19th we've got Huddersfield. Although they had a relatively decent season by their own standards last year, I feel like the newly promoted teams have way more firepower in attack than them, and obviously despite the signings of Durham and Diakabi, which again for their level is pretty decent, I just don't think they have enough depth to compete and stay alive another season in the Premier League. Taking the last relegation spot, I think it's going to be Brighton. Similar problems to Huddersfield. They had a decent year last year, but in this league you need goals, and despite the signing of that Iranian Jahanbakhsh, we all know that Eredivisie signings can be a bit hit or miss depending on whether they manage to adapt to the Premier League or not. Just scraping relegation is going to be Watford, because it seems like their only bit of business is just re-signing Deulofeu and sending him back and bringing him back in again. They can't just keep relying on that. Managers will keep chopping and changing, and as of yet, with like 3 hours left of the transfer window, they haven't replaced Richarlison. Filling up the bottom half, we have Southampton, Bournemouth and Newcastle, who I expect to just have relatively average seasons. Not too much trouble, but nothing to shout about either. I think Burnley will struggle purely because of the Europa League. It's going to take a real toll on their squad, and they've got rid of a lot of players as well, so that's going to impact them majorly. Leicester without Mahrez, I can't see them pulling off anything more than 12th. And surprisingly, just missing out on the top half, I've got Fulham, just because the amount of signings they've made and the actual quality of them as well. Seri, Callum Chambers, even Mitrovic will just provide them that much needed Premier League striking experience. In 10th we have Palace. Wilfried Zaha due to do a madness this season. Hopefully Max Meyer can rekindle his form as well. West Ham will just scrape in there at 9th. I feel like the signing of Lucas Perez just now in deadline day boosted their chances massively. Felipe Anderson, I feel like he's going to surprise a lot of people. I don't think he'll be as bad as everyone expects. I think 15 goal contributions from him this season is coming through. You never know, maybe Jack Wilshere might even rekindle that form from that one game against Barcelona like 20 years ago. Another surprise is one of the newly promoted teams once again. We've got Wolves in 8th. I feel like this Portugal B team just has 100 chemistry, and when you add players like Adama Traore to that, they're definitely going to be dark horses to at least try and push for those Europa spots, but again just narrowly miss out purely because a lot of these guys haven't played in the Premier League before, so it will be interesting to see how they adapt. Everton are going to just be chilling there, just hovering around, not really top 6 but not really mid-table either. They're just there. Richarlison will be good for them. It's good that they finally replaced Leighton Baines as well after like 100 years as well, and if they do manage to complete this signing of Bernard, then I think their status as the best of the rest will be secured for this season. Alright, so here's where it gets a bit controversial and juicy. In 6th we have Tottenham. Thanks to that new toilet bowl stadium they have, they've made 0 signings. They could potentially lose Alderweireld as well in these last few hours. And it looks to me like they're one Harry Kane big injury away from just collapsing completely. Just missing out on the top 4, I've got Chelsea. Despite signing absolute ballers in Jorginho and Kovacic, I just feel like their strikers are too whack. Like, you can't be trying to secure top 4 with Morata up front missing like 20 chances a game. It's just not gonna happen. And at the back, I'm not gonna lie, I've never seen that Kepa Arrizabalaga guy play in my life, so I have no idea if he's gonna compete with Courtois, but he definitely has big shoes to fill. In 4th place, Man United. I would have put them a lot lower because, as we know, Jose Mourinho, that 3rd season syndrome, disaster class due to be pending, but the way De Gea is just so OP, he just cancels out that absolute terrorist Jose Mourinho. You United fans need to just get this guy out before he just destroys Sir Alex's entire legacy. The guy is just an abomination to football. How's my guy trying to kick out Martial for just going to just see his kid? My guy even played McTominay over Pogba in your biggest games of the season, and you think this guy still has a sensible brain in his head? Nah. In 3rd, Unai Emery's red and white army, Ozil masterclass. Now that he's fully focused on Arsenal, he's got rid of all them German guys. Expect to see the assist record smashed. He's getting what, 26 assists, 14 goals, and that's just in the league as well. Aubameyang and Lacazette, too savage up front. We'll probably score like 1 million goals and concede so many as well, because I can't lie, our centre backs are still disastrous. We loaned our best centre back to Fulham, but I feel like Torreira will be our guy to just paper over all them cracks. As you can predict now, in 2nd base it's going to be Liverpool. I feel like they've had one of the best transfer windows. I know they've spent a ridiculous amount of money on the players, and they're probably paid way more than they're worth, but at the end of the day, they got the players they needed. They could not keep on going with Karius and saying he's got concussion every single time he makes a mistake. They cannot keep turning up with Henderson and Wijnaldum in their midfield, because the lack of ball control and technical ability in that midfield was lacking severely. However, I don't expect Salah to get anywhere near the same goal tally as he got. I feel like Sadio Mane is going to be their main guy this season. So in first place, surprise, surprise, we got Man City. I don't think they're going to get 100 points again. I don't think they're going to walk the league, but I still feel like they just have a bit too much for the other teams to compete. Other than maybe Fernandinho and perhaps KDB, any injuries they have are not really much of a problem because their strength and depth is so mad. It's in attack, you know, Aguero, Mahrez, Sterling, Sane, Gabriel Jesus. They have so many players capable of just bullying those smaller teams and then still making an impact against the big teams. As for the Golden Boot, we're going with Abama Blood Clot Young with 31 goals this season. He's going to be an absolute menace. He's going to be bodying everyone. He's going to be just completely tearing defenses apart. And as I said, with full freedom, Mesut Ozil behind him, oh my days, it's going to be a wrap for Premier League defenders. As for the Golden Glove, I'm going to go with Ederson. He's going to get 17 clean sheets this season. And speaking of City, his teammate Kevin De Bruyne will finally get Player of the Year. If it wasn't for Salah's madness last season, he probably would have won it himself. I feel like this time he's finally going to get that award. And similarly, with the Young Player of the Year, it was a toss-up between Sane and Sterling last year, and I feel like it's going to be similar this year, so I'm going to give it to Sterling, just purely because he's English, even though the English media will abuse him whether he shops in Primark or Harrods. He's finally going to fix up his finishing and get himself a decent tally where nobody can complain if he gets Young Player of the Year. So yeah, that's that for my Premier League Premier League predictions. I look forward to getting bantered every single week when this turns out to be horribly wrong, but that's the magic of the Barclays, isn't it? So yeah, let me know your thoughts, let me know who your top 6 is going to be, who you think is going to be relegated in the comments down below. Leave a like and obviously subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll catch you man in January when the next transfer window just makes all these predictions totally irrelevant. In a bit.